Reload. Perfect shot, man.
This truly is a trophy, not because of what it is, but for what we had to accomplish to get it.
The pain train, I love it.
Feel how your heart rate is right now? This is what elk hunting's like. Now you gotta make a shot.
Welcome to the Geared for the Outdoors podcast, brought to you by Numa Outdoors. I'm your host and Numa team member, Will Cooper. The Geared for the Outdoors podcast is dedicated to bow hunters and all those who love the outdoors. Our mission here is to bring you information from industry experts and veteran hunters that can help better prepare you for your next hunt. We understand that time in the outdoors is precious. That's why our goal is to bring you gear that is built to over-deliver, designed to outperform, and proven to outlast. To learn more, head to our website at numaoutdoors.com, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate y'all listening in, and we hope y'all enjoy. What's going on, everybody? You got Will coming back for another episode of the Geared for the Outdoors podcast presented by Numa, and today we've got a really great podcast, pretty special one. We've got the president of Operation Enduring Warrior coming on board, Troy Warshel. For those of y'all that don't know what Operation Enduring Warrior is, they are a veteran-founded nonprofit organization where their mission is to help honor, empower, and motivate our nation's wounded military and law enforcement vets through a lot of different things, through physical, mental, and emotional rehabilitation. And for those of y'all that have kind of been keeping up with what's going on in the archery community lately, is you've been seeing a huge uptick and rise in veterans getting involved just in the community, in the outdoor community, the outdoor industry community, archery community. You're seeing people like Black Rifle Coffee doing some awesome things, and you're seeing Operation Enduring Warrior doing some really great things. But I really wanted to get Troy on here after meeting him through Total Archery Challenge and just talk about OEW, what they do, how they do things, and just what archery and the outdoors in general do for our nation's veterans. And I don't think it can be said enough. Just, we really appreciate what our current serving military and veterans have done for our nation. You know, it's what allows us to have these freedoms to get to enjoy archery, to get to enjoy hunting in the industry. And so we just really want to thank all of y'all that are listening, that have served, currently serving, you're a veteran. We just want to thank you for doing the things that you've done to allow us to have these freedoms. But again, we're bringing Troy Warshel on here to talk archery, the outdoor industry, hunting, Operation Enduring Warrior, and we hope y'all enjoy. Troy, we want to thank you for taking the time to come on board with us today.
Well, Will, thanks for having me. I sure appreciate inviting me on the podcast. Been a big fan of Numa gear and all that you've been doing for quite a while now. So this is pretty exciting.
Man, we love to hear that. Let's give the listeners I start off every podcast with this, but let's give everybody a 30,000 foot view of who you are.
Okay, so my name's Troy Warshel. I'm the president of Operation Enduring Warrior, and our mission is to honor, empower, and motivate our nation's wounded veterans, law enforcement officers, and firefighters, and help them through their recovery. So we do that a bunch of different ways, but mainly it's get them out, get them moving again. We become the surrogate family for folks that have been taken out of units due to injury or things like that, and really give them that new family, that new sense of purpose, some support to be able to deal with the challenges that they're facing, and then really get them out and show them that they can still live the rest of their lives and do all the cool stuff that they used to do, just have to do it in a little bit of a different way.
I love it, man. And I think we first met you, let's see, what was it, at the Texas Total Archery Challenge, correct?
Right, you're right, in San Antonio.
Yeah, that was a pretty big event. We got to go, we were fortunate enough to get to go to a lot of the different TACs this year, but Texas is it's a different beast. It was pretty awesome to just see everybody getting out and about. And it was honestly, I think, one of the first real big events of the spring within the industry to kind of kick everything off.
I'll tell you, it was that was a great event for us. We had, I think we had 6 honorees out there, which is what we call our adaptive athletes, or folks that we're helping through the program.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a great experience for them to be able to get out and engage in archery and stuff that they've been practicing. And just the community in general has been so amazing to us. Vendors, participants, everybody else is really interested in helping out and making sure that that our honorees have the best experience that they possibly can.
I love it, man. Let's talk a little bit more about you. I know we were kind of right before we started, you were talking about your day job. What do you do outside of OEW?
Well, I'm back up a little bit. I served 20 years in the Marine Corps as an F-18 pilot and forward air controller and company commander. So yeah, it was exciting job. It really, really was. And sort of as that chapter of my life closed, I sort of found myself in the same boat that a lot of our honorees were, is that I no longer had, that sense of community or family that I had been accustomed to for 20 years. And it really left a void in my life because I had decided a long time ago that, my purpose in life was to serve. And, the first way that I do that, I thought I could give back to the country by serving in the military. And then, after we got out, I still had that desire and still had that drive. And, fortunately I found Operation Enduring Warrior, which gave me an opportunity to really continue that service. But, and really one of the reasons it really became evident that I needed to continue on and do something different. I had retired from the Marine Corps in June, started my first civilian job in August. And one of my first days on the job, a couple of guys I was working back as a contractor for the Marine Corps, and two guys who would have been my peers were in uniform said, "Hey, we're going to go grab some coffee." And I said, "Hey, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to, I'll come with you." And they said, "Wait a minute, this is Marine stuff," which, talk about a dagger to the heart, man. That was, a month ago I'd have been going right with you, but now it's, now you're not quite part of the club anymore. So, that was sort of the first indication to me that I needed to find something else to be able to participate.
You're not the first one that I think I've heard this from. Just, once you get out and you're no longer serving, I've heard a lot of guys talk about how there's just not that sense of family, sense of belonging, or just a sense of team anymore. And would you say that, obviously that's one of the reasons why OEW exists, is to provide that for these guys and girls, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I think especially folks that are, combat wounded, or, in the case of law enforcement folks, that they're injured and they're taken away from their unit. So they lose that support structure. They lose that family that they're used to, that, that sense of purpose, and all that's essentially stripped away from them.
Yeah.
And that really causes some difficulty for a lot of folks, especially as they're going through difficult times, whether it's recovery or surgeries or things like that. You need that support structure around you. And, sometimes it just isn't there. And we're very fortunate with OEW to be able to step up and fill some of that void in order to help people with their recovery.
That's tough. I couldn't even imagine. I know this isn't even a comparison, but I was a college athlete at one point in my life. And then once that's over, you just have this void because you were part of this team, a part of this family, something bigger than yourself for so many years of your life. And then it just kind of comes to an end like that. So I couldn't even imagine what these guys and girls go through with that.
Oh yeah. And with that sort of abandonment is probably a strong word, but that loss, oftentimes that manifests in bad behaviors, self-destructive behaviors. I know it did for me. And it's a tough thing to get out of just by yourself, because you don't have that, that same sense of purpose. Just in my experience of, just going to work and then coming home, wonderful family. My wife's awesome. My kids are awesome. But it was just something was missing. And it really caused a lot of stress for us.
Yeah.
Until I found a way to refocus.
Mm-hmm. And that's where Operation Enduring Warrior comes in.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about, I kind of looked over kind of got to know y'all a little bit before you and I hopped on this podcast, because I didn't want to find out too much because I wanted to ask you these things. But tell me a little bit about some of the different programs that Operation Enduring Warring provides.
Sure. So we've got programs to appeal to all different walks of life. We have, our bread and butter when we initially started in 2013 was the obstacle course race. We had a good partnership with Spartan, and it's getting people out, getting them moving again.
Yeah.
And you take somebody that's a double or a single, double, triple amputee and put them out on an obstacle course and tell them, all right, you're going to do this. Just let's figure it out. And that really was how we started.
Mm-hmm.
But, since then we've branched out. So we have what's called our adventure program. So we have, outdoor activities. We'll do mountaineering. We'll do, camping and hiking. We do every year in partnership with one of our other partners. It's called 60 to 60, or the Ruck to Remember.
Okay.
So we start from Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, and then hike the 60 miles into Section 60 in Arlington Cemetery, which is where the majority of Iraq and Afghanistan veterans have been buried.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's basically, it's getting out, getting moving, getting around and doing other things. Now we have the race program, which again is like obstacle course races, or marathons, or hand cycling, or bike ride, anything like that. We have a skydive program. We have a scuba program. We have it's called Warrior's Voice, which gives some public speaking training to folks, and it's really therapeutic because it helps them tell their story, and in the process of telling their story, they own their story, and it's very healing for folks to be able to get out and talk about their experience. And then most recently, we started the archery program.
Yeah.
That program's only been around about a year now.
Okay.
It is by far our most popular program right now.
Now, would you say that's because of the recent rise in popularity with archery, total archery challenge, bow hunting, or just kind of all the above?
I think it's sort of the confluence of events. COVID played into it because, we typically have a very full schedule with obstacle course races and, different outdoor events, and those all shut down during COVID. So people started to look for other things. And, archery came up as one of those programs that you could continue to do during COVID, because you could separate yourselves from other folks, but it's something that folks could also do outside of that group setting. You don't need a specific event to go out in your backyard and sling some arrows. And we found that it was such a great therapeutic tool that folks really took to it, because it gave them something to concentrate on. It gave them something to think about. And you go out and shoot a bow. If you're not thinking, if you're not 100% concentrating on what you're doing, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
And we've seen just dramatic improvement in people that have taken up archery and have really put their heart and soul into it. And, I think it was very fortuitous for us to be able to come in as Total Archery Challenge is really starting to pick up momentum. The archery community, like I mentioned, has been so fantastic for us. And our program manager, Caleb Brewer, he's just a rock star. I mean, great guy. He's a double amputee himself. He's a very accomplished bow hunter, super guy, and really, really has put his heart and soul into the program to make sure it's successful. So I think, big confluence of events, but I think it really worked out for the best for us.
That's awesome. Now, before the Texas Total Archery Challenge, there was an event before hosted by Black Rifle Coffee. I think it was Adaptive Shoot. I don't remember the exact name, but were y'all involved with that at all?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we had actually a couple of wheelchair bound athletes that that went with us to that.
Mm-hmm.
And what a fantastic experience, because, you go to the Total Archery Challenge, and it's, for a mobility challenge person, a lot of those courses are, it's just not feasible.
Right.
But
you're going up and down mountains and crazy trails
right.
and all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me at times, and I've got all of my faculties, well, except maybe the mental ones, but it's difficult to get around at times. But the Black Rifle folks really did a great job at working with Sean DeGray and TAC to develop this course that was accessible, and then give folks the opportunity to get out there and really experience that 3D shoot, and put them in hunting situations and things like that, which are, as we look through our program, and what we've decided to do is, I don't just want to hand somebody a bow and off you go. We want to give them some training. We want to make sure they're interested in it. They've got the fundamentals, they've got the background, and then we sort of progress through, an initial camp, learn how to shoot, get a little bit more advanced training, go to a Total Archery Challenge. Maybe they want to go out on a hunt, or maybe they want to branch off into target shooting. So, there's a lot of different ways we can go. And, Black Rifle's been such a great partner for us. And the BRCC Gives and Black Rifle Outdoors has been just phenomenal at getting our folks out there and really getting them involved.
Man, I tell you, they're definitely doing it right. I mean, just watching everything they do at the Total Archery Challenge events it's pretty cool. And while I was there, just getting to see all these different veterans, from whether they're military or, I think there's also some first responders, firefighters, policemen, and others that are involved, but just getting to see them be there and knowing that the crap that they've been through, and whether or not they still have all their faculties, like you said, the smiles on their face just said it all. And that is just amazing and very, very awesome to get to see that.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's, at the end of that event, it wasn't, adaptive folks and able-bodied folks, and there wasn't a delineation. It was just a bunch of people who were out, shooting arrows, giving each other a hard time, enjoying each other's company, and just at the end of the day, being out there to do something that they enjoyed and really enjoy the results of it.
100%. Tell me about with you being a veteran yourself, what does archery do for you? What does it bring to the table for you?
It's, I grew up as a kid. I learned to shoot with a $25 bow from the local hardware store.
Yeah.
As a young kid, and I, grew up with a bow in my hand until I got to college, and then off in the Marine Corps, and I got busy, and it just sort of went by the wayside. Ironically, one of the difficulties of military moves is sometimes your stuff disappears. Yeah. And one of the moves, my bow disappeared, and yeah, I was just beside myself. But it was, at the time I was in Southern California. We were, I was deploying all the time, flying, 5 and 6 days a week. So didn't really have a lot of time to get out and hunt, unfortunately. And it just sort of, went by the wayside. And then as I got drug kicking and screaming out to the Washington, D.C. area to work at the Pentagon, I picked it back up again. I needed to get outside and sort of rekindle my relationship with nature. Mm-hmm. My wife always tells me she can tell when I have been inside too long. She calls it nature deficit disorder. That I start getting anxious and cranky, and she says, "You need to go spend some time outside." And it's amazing how much better my mood is.
Yeah.
But if you rewind about a year ago, this again during the height of COVID, mm-hmm. we decided to have an event at Warx in Ohio.
Okay.
So we had a big strategic event, tried to get as many people as we could safely together. And because the organization had we had lost our previous president. I had just picked up the mantle, and dealing with all these challenges and the different time of year, try to bring everybody together and rebuild that family feeling a little bit. But at that event, a friend of mine, John Lopez, who you've probably seen, he's missing his left arm, but he is an amazing archer. And we were at that event. He was out practicing because he was getting ready to go to a black rifle shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever met Lopez, we actually affectionately made his last name a verb because you'll get Lopezed into things. And we were talking, and I said, yeah, I used to, when I was growing up, I used to be a bow hunter. He says, so what do you shoot now? I said, well, I shoot a crossbow now, and a lot easier. I don't have to practice anything else. He says, you should come out and shoot the Total Archery Challenge with us. And I'll tell you, I had my excuse gun on rapid fire.
Yeah.
I don't have a bow. I haven't shot in 30 years. He says, you're left-handed, right? I said, yeah. He says, good. My spare bow will be at your house in 3 days. You'll have 2 weeks to figure it out. We'll see you in Michigan. And from there, from the time that bow arrived at my house, I've been hooked again.
Mm-hmm.
And I try and get out and shoot every day. That's my quiet time in the morning. I get up, before anybody else gets up, as soon as it's daylight, and I'll just go shoot, 20, 30, 40 arrows. And it really sets the day for me. I get to think about nothing else, get to, concentrate on just doing that. And then when I'm done, I'm ready to really go out and engage. So for me, not only the hunting aspect of it, because I love to be out in the woods, love to hunt, but all the mechanics and the processes of archery that to be good is really kind of a therapy for me.
It really is. It's the same way for me. I mean, if I've had a tough day or just whatever's going on, it's just a good way to go outside. And like you said, it's just therapy. It's calming. You can go out there, you can release your anger on some foam, and it does a lot for the soul. It's like yoga for us men.
Exactly.
And women that shoot. Yeah, it's like yoga for us, but yeah, I definitely love it. And as you're telling me this, I think I was talking with somebody with Black Rifle not long ago, that they were telling me that there's a lady by the name of Leah Coriel, if I said that correctly.
Right. Yeah. Leah Correll.
Yeah. And I think she's fixing to be in Tokyo, or if she's not
She
there
is.
already for the Paralympics. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'll tell you, we've got two phenomenal Paralympic archers that work with us. The first is Leah Corell. Mm-hmm. She's getting ready to go to Tokyo. Super lady, and she's got patience of a saint, and really enjoys the program. She's wheelchair bound.
Okay.
And but just to watch her shoot is amazing. Her concentration and her ability to to block out everything else. The other individual that we have is Eric Burkett, Trainwreck. He's a former Marine Osprey pilot.
Okay.
And he's a double amputee and also a Paralympian. And just both of them. I mean, to get out there and watch them shoot and to see what archery has done for them. Again, it's for both of them. I think it's their purpose and their passion in life, and to see the excitement and the way they want to coach people and help people and make a difference. And we're just absolutely blessed to have them on the team.
That's awesome. Now, Leah just picked up a bow not long ago, right? Or do I have that story mixed up a little bit?
I think she's been shooting for a number of years.
Okay.
But I mean, she's such a great advocate. She's, I think she's on the Paralympic committee, and I think the Olympic committee, both for able-bodied and Paralympic archers. She helps represent the causes for them as they're getting ready to compete in the Olympics. So, I mean, just the depth of our bench to be able to teach people and share knowledge, and just the generosity of the folks with their time and their wisdom and patience has just been absolutely amazing.
Now, do y'all have any other programs in the works? Like, I know we're talking archery, adventure, skydiving, and the other one was Warrior's Voice, correct?
Right.
Do y'all have any other in the works? Like, I think fishing's pretty big out there. Do y'all have anything else that y'all have in the works that you can share with us?
So we're actually, we're a lot of it depends on what our honorees want to do. We realize that we're not going to be the experts in everything. We try and partner with folks that may be able to cover a gap that we can't.
Right.
But I think the sort of the outdoor sports, whether it be hunting, fishing, things like that, are really stuff that folks are becoming more interested in, and those are things that we're really starting to focus on. So for a while we had a scuba diving program, and it's a lot of challenges around that because of the large time commitment and things like that. So we've got some folks through scuba diving, gotten them certified, but it's we're finding more and more that the stuff like hunting, stuff like archery is just increasingly popular, and people are gravitating towards it, and it's really exciting to see. I think we're sort of on the cutting edge of helping with the veteran Leo and first responder community in this environment, and it is really cool to see.
I love to see it, man. I really do. I've had lots of friends that they're still in the military, or I've had friends that I graduated with that they went essentially off to war, and I've got one friend I grew up with that he already had a Purple Heart at the age of 22, I believe. And I've seen he's gotten involved with some other organizations that do the similar things as Operation Enduring Warrior. And, when he got back, he struggled, but then he got involved with this other organization, and I saw my buddy from years ago just come back to life because of it. And I just think what y'all are doing is amazing, and it's really helping out a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you, Will, we're very fortunate to be able to do it. I think it's and it goes back to the dedication and some vision of folks back in 2013 when they first stood this organization up and set us up for the success that we're having now.
Yeah.
But and quite frankly, I'd be lying if I said I probably got as much out of it as our honorees do. It's for me to go out on a course or watch somebody who's never shot a bow before, pick it up and figure it out. That just that sense of joy and pride for them and their accomplishment. Man, I'll tell you, there's no other feeling like it in the world.
It just makes you light up, man.
It sure does.
Tell me, what kind of events and stuff do y'all have for the remainder of the year? What else do y'all have lined up? Any hunts? Anything cool? I know Total Archery Challenge is pretty much come to an end now, but from that end, what kind of cool things y'all have going the rest of the year?
So we've got several archery events coming up. We've got a camp going in November where we're going to get some more folks out and get them acquainted with the bow. We have a hunt that's going to go at the end of December into the first 2 weeks of January out in Arizona.
Sweet.
So and we've gotten offers from a number of folks that if we have honorees that want to go, that they'll help sponsor and bring them out and take them out to hunts. We've got a couple of different events, obstacle course race. I mentioned Warex earlier, and they've been an amazing partner for us. They're located in Ohio, and it's just an amazing group of people that decided to get together because they wanted to build a military themed obstacle course. And they've been it's unreal. Jake Moore and his team from Warex, it's their passion, their hobby. I mean, they get together and they've built this unbelievable obstacle course race. And So in October, we're going to go out there and have another big strategic event. Well, during what they call the trilogy. So during the first Saturday, it'll be an obstacle course race, probably about 5 miles, probably 50 or so obstacles, and we'll get a bunch of folks out there and do that race. And it'll be really cool. We had last year when we did it, we had several wheelchair bound athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We had all kinds of. Well, I think we had probably about a dozen honorees there, if I remember right. And the whole, I didn't explain. We have what's called the masked athlete team, and I'll touch on that here in a minute.
I was just about to ask that, because in y'all's logo, part of it is a mask, and I wanted to ask about that.
Okay, yeah, that's obviously a very visible outward sign of what we do or who we are. But we have a specially trained group of individuals who we call the masked athlete team. We go through a relatively extensive selection process. So 4 phases to it, where you do your application. You come out and shadow us. You do a couple of events with the masked athlete team, and then you go through phase 3, which we call INDOC, is basically a 36-hour nonstop physical and mental evolution to see if you've got what it takes to be able to be part of the team.
Wow.
Because in reality, these individuals, our honorees, are trusting us with their lives to be able to get them through this event safely and successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And their loved ones are trusting that we're going to bring them back in one piece.
Yeah.
So, we go through a lot of training. There's a lot of physical conditioning. We go out on the course. We're dressed in basically Army camo. We wear a blacked out gas mask, all name tapes, no names, anything like that. And the idea there is we're that anonymous force behind these people that are trying to make sure that they get through. It helps focus the attention on them and not on us.
Yeah.
Now, wearing the gas mask it makes it about 25% harder to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And, that sort of symbolically is, there's still people out there that are suffering. We're going to suffer along with you. There's still people that are hurting. We're going to do a little bit of that with you. But I'll tell you, fortunately, that gas mask is blacked out because I don't know how many times I've stood on a race course or at an event with tears just rolling down my face because somebody's accomplished something they never thought they would do again. It's just unbelievable. And it's, it really is. It's a challenge. It's difficult. Sometimes it sucks, but to see the results at the end is absolutely worth it.
Tell me about within this masked athlete team. When I was looking through it earlier, there's all these different call signs. Now, I don't expect you to go through every one because there's a lot of them. But can you tell us about those call signs and what those are?
Sure. That's each of the members of the masked athlete team chooses a character trait that they feel like they want to embody.
Right.
They initially came out of the 14 leadership traits out of the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And, since then we've grown. We have, I think, about 22 masked athletes right now.
Yeah.
And, that's the call sign that you go out on a race course with. And that's, and you can see the, sort of the symbolism behind them, what it means to individuals. And you find that the call sign very closely matches the personality
Mm-hmm.
of the person. And it's, it's sort of those intangible traits that we hope to exemplify and hope to instill in other people, just to keep pushing, keep getting better. Don't quit because we're here. Yeah, I think that's probably about the best explanation for it.
Without going into each one, because I was seeing here like y'all have them going all the way from sacrifice, commitment, dependability, grit, guardian heart. I mean, these are just a few. Relentless, shield, solace, valiant. I love seeing that. I really like what y'all are doing with that.
Yeah, it's really neat. And like I said, it takes the who out of it,
Yeah.
because when we go mask up, we go away from everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, name tapes with your name on it come off, the call signs go on, and then as we come out as a group, you typically don't know who we are, and that's by intent. We're the silent professionals behind the mask, behind the scenes, that are helping these individuals get through and accomplish their goals.
Do you feel like that? This is just me thinking out loud here, but does that ever intimidate some of these guys and girls?
I don't think so, because I think they know us all really before we go out on a course with them.
Mm-hmm.
I would, I think as you meet the folks that do the events and watch them succeed, they know we're there for them. We're never more than arm's length away. We're making sure that they do things safely. In fact, I'll give you an example. We had a blind Vietnam veteran. He ended up losing his sight due to complications from Agent Orange.
Okay.
And he decided at one point in his life he wanted to run an obstacle course race. So we figured out a plan. And that guy, the first one, he walked the entire thing, but did every obstacle. And it's us helping him, hey, reach your hand up a foot. There's a bar to grab hold of, and we make sure we guide his feet and get him going.
Yeah.
Well, he was so impacted by that the second time he wanted to do it, he ran the entire thing and did every obstacle.
Holy cow.
I mean, it was just amazing to see him work through the thought process, and for us to figure out how to get him through safely. And it's all about, for us, it's all about teamwork. It's all about communication. It's about, pulling that team together, and how do we problem solve, and how do we do it quickly and safely? Because it's the race isn't about us. It's about making sure that honoree is successful and they get the most out of it. And, we always tell them, hey, we're not getting a paycheck at the end of this. So, we'll do whatever you're comfortable with. We'll try and push your comfort zone a little bit so you could do a little bit more than you think you could, but we won't let you get hurt. We'll make sure you get through it safely, and we'll make sure you get to the end in one piece.
Wow. That takes definite determination. And I mean, for him to be able to do that, that's
oh yeah. Yeah. And there's just countless examples of that as we go through. You watch somebody who, you watch like John Lopez, who's a single arm amputee, figure out how to skydive and how to do that one-handed, or Todd Love, who's a triple amputee, figure out how he's going to skydive. And just to watch the community come together to solve problems and make opportunities is just, oh man, I'll tell you, just no feeling like it in the world.
No, that's when I see things like this and hear about things like this, to me, it really it motivates you. It really does. I mean, especially seeing after all the things that folks like this have gone through, things that they've been through, and things that they've overcome. It motivates me, and it just really makes you realize, some of these problems I deal with on a day-to-day basis, it's really not crap compared to what some of these guys and girls go through. And it's a huge motivator for me.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it's I have a new, well, after getting involved in this, it sort of recaged my thought as to what constitutes a good day.
Yeah.
And, all it takes for me to have a good day is that I wake up on the right side of the grass and is anybody shooting at me. And if I got the right answer to both of those, it's a good day.
And you're getting to shoot your bow.
Yep, exactly.
Getting some of your Black Rifle coffee and heading out there to go shoot the bow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, I want to talk a little bit about you. Now, you said you were an F-18 pilot for how many years was it?
I did that for 20 years.
20 years. What made you want to be a pilot? What drew you to that?
I've always loved flying. you kind of go back to early hunting experience, and I think you probably saw the Instagram post that I put up last week about a guy named Pete, who was essentially my surrogate grandfather.
Okay.
And Pete was an amazing guy. He actually took me. He had an airplane, and he took my dad and I up, and I got to put my hands on the controls and fly the airplane around, and I was really excited about it, and flying became a passion. And as it turned out, folks as old as I am, growing up in the 80s, Top Gun came around, and
Oh yeah.
everybody wanted to be a pilot at that point. And as it turned out, the Marine Corps was looking for pilots, and I had the requisite monkey skills and could figure out where I was in 3-dimensional space. And I guess they figured, they put 2 and 2 together, and I ended up with an aviation contract going into the Marine Corps. And the rest is history from there. It's a rewarding experience. I got to spend a little bit of time as an instructor in the Hornet, teaching the Hornet to new students, and it was fun. I mean, I remember the first time I strapped that thing on and went flying. It was so overwhelming. And then fast forward a couple of years, and it sort of becomes like driving your car. You go to work, you drive to work, and you don't really realize how you got to work.
Yeah.
You just drove there.
Yeah.
And sort of flying becomes secondary to employment of the weapon system.
Right.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I was pretty fortunate. I got to, one of the squadrons I was in was a 2-seat F-18 squadron, and our main mission was forward air control airborne. So we would go out and find targets and mark them and call in airstrikes to be able to blow up targets.
Oh, wow.
And one of the ways that we would typically do that is we would go out strapped up with 5-inch rockets, which is my absolute favorite ordnance. So when you shoot them, it looks like a flaming telephone pole. It's and you can. It got to the point where if you're sort of the acceptable mark for acceptable region for putting a mark out on the ground to get somebody's attention is about within 200 meters of the target. And it got to the point where from 6 miles away, I could shoot off a rocket and get within 200 meters of the target.
Holy cow.
And it's just, I mean, the Hornet was an amazing airplane. The pilot was definitely the weak link. It would give you so much information, you could barely process it. And, just super accurate and user friendly. And what an amazing airplane. In fact, I kid a lot of people. I said, flying that thing is the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
Did you ever get to fly, was it the F-22s that came after the 18?
F-22s is an Air Force airplane.
Okay.
So the Marines were going to get the F-35, and I was getting out just as that was coming into service. So I got to fly the simulator a little bit, and that thing is absolutely amazing, but never actually got to put my behind in the airplane.
Dang. Man, hearing all this stuff, I kind of geek out on planes and military. I feel like I could sit here and probably ask you a million questions for hours on a lot of that stuff, but probably need to get us back on track to Operation Enduring Warrior a little bit. I kind of want to dive back into what archery and hunting does for the veterans that y'all are doing this for. Like, I know, I think it's Mandy Thomas has been a part of OEW. I spoke with her and met her at Total Archery Challenge, and she got to go on her first hunt last year and got involved with archery. What does that mean for you to see that, for folks like that get to go and do that and experience that?
I think it's when you look at all the therapeutic value of being outdoors and connecting with nature and having that that engagement time, I think is just unbelievable to watch how people, I guess, they come out of their shell. They seem to find a purpose. You go on that first hunt, and if you're lucky enough to take an animal, that's icing on the cake. But just
Right.
the experience of being out there and dealing with the elements and just being in the moment, I think gives people the opportunity to not think about what an injury is or what you're suffering through. You're just there. You're dealing with the elements. You're part of nature. You're soaking all that in. And I know for me, and I think I've heard a lot of other people say that have gone through the same experiences, that that sort of resets everything. It gives you a what's important and what's not important. Is this uncomfortable? Does this suck? Does this hurt? And sort of gives you an opportunity to reset and then be able to come back and look at things with a fresh eye.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. It's hunting and archery allows that big time. It makes you just relax, tranquil, like you're saying, therapy, because there's so many things out there that I think we as a society put way too much effort, too much time, that causes stress, anxiety that we get lost in. And I know that, speaking for myself, that when I get to go hunting, when I get to go up the mountains and chase elk, or whether it's just walking to the pop-up blind out on the family place, when I'm done with that, I come back a better person. It just allows you to look at things with a different scope and through a different lens.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's my wife will, when I'll walk through the door after being out in the field for the day, I get just a big grin on my face. I'm just happy and reset and ready to engage and, just be present for her. It's such a, there's so many life-changing experiences, but that one just is something that's attainable and you can go do on a regular basis. And, again, it just resets you and it grounds you, it gives you the opportunity to come back and, with a clear head. And, you can attest, no doubt, how many hours you sit in a blind and just sort of time to think and let your thoughts wander. And
probably too many.
Yeah. Yep. Agree. But, it's that quiet time. And so, I always try and stay away from electronics and other distractions when I'm out there, and just, if it's, watching the chipmunks play or, birds flying around or whatever else, just be there and be part of that moment.
For sure. And I think that's one of the reasons why, maybe not just archery, but hunting in general, I think we've seen such a huge rise in numbers lately, especially the past year or two. I know I've said this a couple times already, but you can see the amount that hunting has risen in popularity. I mean, if you go and look at the amount of people that applied for draw hunts in Colorado this past year, was huge. In 2019 compared to 2020 compared to 2021, there were 35,000 new people applying for the draw in Colorado.
Isn't that amazing?
It's kind of a bittersweet thing to say. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I love that we have all these new people, or maybe not even necessarily new people, but just new people that are coming to Colorado. But you just see these numbers that it's awesome to see that can fight for the public land, hunting rights, and be able to fight for it so we can keep passing it down to generation. But then there's the selfish side of me. It's like, no, don't go to Colorado. I'm trying to apply for this unit. Go to another state.
Yeah. If you go over there, it'll be all right.
Yeah. But no, I love seeing that. And then just the amount of people you see at total archery challenges, the amount of people that you're starting to see at these events, and just everybody that's picking up a bow. I love seeing it.
Oh yeah. You and me both. It's, it's just it's so cool to see people that are, you're interested in where your food comes from. You know, there's so many people that are now figuring out that food does not come from a grocery store,
Yeah.
and that, if you're involved in growing it, catching it, killing it, and cooking it, that you're a lot closer to your food chain. You know where it comes from. You know what's in it. So much healthier than some of the other options that people have been after for the last couple of decades. It's, man.
Well, and we've got such great ambassadors for the sport now, from ambassadors to programs, brands, companies. There's so many different people promoting it that I think when you would put us all together, we're going to be a pretty big organization, pretty big industry that's going to be hard to beat.
Oh yeah, and just the hospitality of the people in the hunting industry in general and the archery industry in particular. I mean, just unreal. Everybody's so welcoming. They want to, take time and hear your story and, offer advice or just be there with you and experience it. It's like no community that I've ever been a part of, really.
It's an awesome community. Troy, tell us if somebody wants to get involved, they want to volunteer, or there's somebody else out there that they need help, where can they get in touch with y'all? Where can they find you guys?
Okay. Easiest place to find us is on our website, which is enduringwarrior.org. If you just Google Operation Enduring Warrior, it'll come up. We're on all the social medias. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're even on LinkedIn, believe it or not.
Okay.
And so we have quite a big social media presence there. If you go to our website, there's you can learn about us. You can learn about the mission. Like you mentioned, you can learn about the Best Athlete Team, how to apply for that. We have our volunteer element. We call them Operation Enduring Warrior Community Ambassadors, or OCAs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of the grassroots folks that, you want to be part of the organization. You want to help us out. If you have skills and want to be able to volunteer to help out, wounded veterans, law enforcement officers, or firefighters, we'd love to have you. We've got a ton of jobs that need to get done, and really this is a family, and that's what I've stressed to everybody is that, I feel like they're all my family. They've, we talk all the time. We engage each other. We have, all those challenges that families have, but in the end, we're all about the mission. We're all about taking care of our honorees. We're making sure that they're successful. And in the sort of the second, third order benefits of that is, the satisfaction you get out of it, the relationships you make, the friendships that you have. It's, if somebody wants to give, this is a place to come, and we would love to have anybody that wants to join us.
I love it. There you go, everybody. Troy, thank you again for hopping on the podcast with me this afternoon. I know you and I've been schedules have been a little bit crazy, so trying to get everything lined up took a little bit, but man, I really do appreciate you coming on, talking to OEW, archery, hunting, and just going down a couple rabbit holes with me today.
No, I absolutely will. Glad to do it, and glad we could finally coordinate some schedules. And I really wanted to thank Numa for all your support that you guys have given us. Making sure that our honorees are kitted out properly so that we can get them in and out of the field safely, give them the best chance for success. You guys have been an awesome partner. We're very happy to work with you.
Absolutely, man. It's what we love to do. We're all about growing, but at the same time, we love giving back to community, organizations like OEW, and just helping out where we can.
No, like I said, we couldn't be happier. We're just glad to be here and be part of the team.
I love it, man. Well, Troy, I know we'll probably hop on another one probably later this fall. You got any big hunts coming up, or that we might be able to talk about or talk stories?
Oh, we got a couple of things coming up. We got archery season opens here in Maryland in less than a month now. So hopefully we'll get out and put some meat in the freezer. I was supposed to go with Jeff from Jack Gear out to do a little bit of elk hunting, but my calendar, I could not clear out my calendar in September. So that one's going to be on the back burner until next year, but hoping to get out and do a couple of other hunts, maybe out in Arizona coming up. So yeah, we'll definitely have some good stories and some good stuff to share with you.
Sweet. Well, Troy, appreciate it again, man. And I know we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
There you go, everybody. Troy, we can't thank him enough for hopping on board and taking the time to sit down and talk OEW, archery, and the hunting industry with us. They're doing a lot of great things over there at Operation Enduring Warrior. If you want to check out more about what OEW is doing, head on over to their website at enduringwarrior.org, or you can check them out on Instagram. Their handle is Operation Enduring Warrior. Go give them a follow. Go check out all the awesome things they're doing, because they're not just doing things in the outdoor industry and archery. They're doing things anywhere, everywhere that you can think of. They're doing some really great things, awesome things. So, again, we just want to thank everybody that's tuned in. You have plenty of choices when it comes to podcasts, and so to choose us and take a listen in onto what's happening on the Geared for the Outdoors podcast, we just want to thank y'all, and we'll see y'all on the next one.